So the dumbest bill in America is, believe it or not, listen, gender-neutral department stores. The dumbest bill in America is gender-neutral department stores. California Assembly Bill 2826, introduced by Assembly Member Evan Lowe. And here is what it says. It says, a retail department store shall maintain one undivided area of its sales floor where it sells child care articles, all child care articles, regardless of whether a particular item has traditionally been marketed for either girls or boys, and they shall be displayed. A retail department store shall maintain one undivided area of its floor where it sells children's clothing. All clothing for children, regardless of whether a particular item has traditionally been marketed to either girls or boys, and it shall also be displayed. A retail department store, this is right from the bill, guys, shall maintain one undivided area of its sales floor where it sells toys, all toys, regardless of whether a particular item has traditionally been marketed to either boys or girls. And this section shall apply only, and this bill shall apply only to retail department stores with at least 500 or more employees. So, the bill's purpose by Evan Lowe is to tell large department stores that when you walk down an aisle and you're a consumer, that all the girls and boys stuff must be displayed interspersed in the same aisle so that you won't get upset or be offended by the fact that the boys might have an aisle and the girls might have an aisle with clothes, and then there might be a boys' toy section and a girls' toy section, because this is what Evan Lowe thinks is important right now. This sounds, by the way, Evan is a millennial, so you guys tell me. Come on, millennials.
I think that's a waste of taxpayer dollars in California and a waste of his time to even draft a bill like that.
Oh, come on, I need more than this.
Oh,
not more than just taxpayer dollars.
I could go.
Do you think this applies to pet stores too? Like, you're going...
You'll have a lot of guinea pigs.
Like, yeah, you're going down the aisle in the pet store and you're trying to get your Yorkie Terrier some sweatpants, and you have to make sure that they're gender neutral. But this is
Petco. I'm offended. You have the female dog clothing with, it's separated from the male clothing.
I mean, I think Orion can attest to this too. Most millennials really don't care how people dress or self-identify, or it's more of a laissez-faire approach.
Yeah,
really
with
doesn't bother
millennials.
me. Yeah, exactly. I personally don't care. And if there's specific gender-neutral clothing that a store wants to sell, then good for them. They might be serving an underserved market.
Yeah.
But you can't force companies to do as you please just because obviously when it's virtue signaling, it just fits your narrative.
And I don't even think
of how
he's
the world should be.
asking the department stores to supply gender-neutral clothing. I think he's asking boy clothes, traditionally boy clothes.
But that's that's always the next step.
Yeah, it's like, the question is there gender-neutral? There probably is. It's probably like non-conforming features that are cut different ways so they don't hug on any curves or any like body parts, basically. I'm just saying that's what gender neutral is. You're not trying to show what you're. But
we're going to make businesses. We're going to make businesses not market the way they want to market or sell the way they want to sell because one person is offended. I mean, don't go in. Here's an idea. Here's a boomer idea. Don't go into the store if you don't like it. Go to another store. I mean, so by the way, Assemblymember Evan Lowe did a TEDx Presidio. So I looked up what a TEDx, I know what a TEDx is, a TED Talk, but the TEDx Presidio says as follows. It will bring together some of the brightest thought leaders in business, like this guy's a real businessman, who are helping shape the future of their sectors, harnessing the power of markets, creating opportunity for people to improve their lives, and creating real-world change on a large scale. These market movers are setting a new bar and make the case that good business can change the world. This is what Evan Lowe is speaking at. He's speaking at one of these things. We have a clip of Evan Lowe, and here he is.
Jurisdiction is the banning of single-use bags or plastic bags. We've already seen in some jurisdictions the banning of polystyrene or that of styrofoam. In New York, some places now are even thinking about banning big gulps in 7-Elevens. And they're actually talking about banning Happy Meals at fast food restaurants. Because why? Why would government try to intervene in society like that, in a private market? Because good faith effort is not being demonstrated amongst each other, not with each other, and with our environment. And that's what's so critical in this new day and age. No one wants government to meddle and get involved. We politicians like to be liked. We don't like to be told that nanny government.
Yeah, we don't like to, politicians don't like to engage in nanny government, says Evan Lowe, Assembly Member Evan Lowe. They don't like to do that. That's why he put in a bill that is a nanny state bill, California Assembly Bill 2826, by the way, which this month, March 2020, was basically going to have a hearing in California where department stores have to intersperse boys and girls' toys because you can't have them separated because he doesn't believe in a nanny state. What a bunch of crap. This guy's a piece of work. I'm sorry.
It's going to frustrate customers trying to actually find specific toys if they don't know which aisle they belong to.
They just shouldn't go there. But unfortunately, you know, if it's the law, you don't have a choice, right? It's a statewide law if it were to pass.
But it's going to affect the big department stores, which most people go to.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, like Walmart, Walmart would have, you know, you would think more than 500 employees.
I would say Toys R Us, but
depends on what they mean. Is it 500 employees per store or 500 employees per company? I would think company. One would think. Go ahead, Sam. Thoughts on this?
It reminds me of the Penn and Teller Magic Act, where, you know, Penn is this vocal, bombastic guy, and he's saying, oh, we're not going to ban anything. You know, we're going to keep everything the status quo. And meanwhile, Teller behind the scenes is stealing everyone's big gulp.
That's right. So here's the thing. We say this every time. You don't ban, you innovate, right? If you want innovation ideas. But this bill isn't about innovation. This bill is about political correctness and Evan Lowe's own political, you know, ideology, which I'm sorry, is not mainstream at all. And by mainstream, I mean the idea that you can't have boys and you can't have girls. I think that's a mental illness, quite frankly, if you even think that for a minute, because we do have boys, we do have girls, we do have men, and we do have women, and they want to shop in the appropriate aisles that they want to shop in. So that's just my final thoughts. Final thoughts from the millennials about this, because I know you guys are sensitive about this issue, very sensitive. You know,
the bill's dumb.
We might have to get some more soft language from George Carlin for you.
Hey, the bill's dumb, and people would live their lives the way they want to live. I don't really care.
Final thoughts, Sam.
Yeah, thanks for the generalization there about
Well, that's it for Mark and the Millennials. Thank you for joining Mark and the Millennials. This is Mark Fisher. Thank you to our Millennials, Sam Fisher, Ryan the Squirrel Brady, and of course, our producer, Adam Katura, and our assistant producer, Christopher Hopkins. Join us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and our website. See you next time.